Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the Huddy Hui, and it's a cold one out there tonight, but episode 112 is on live now, and we're lucky enough to have a former Black Fern on the Huddy Hui tonight. Also plays for the almighty dominant Petone Ponies in the Wellington women's competition. Jackie Patea-Fereti is our guest on the Huddy Hui tonight. Jackie, many thanks for coming on the Hui. The Petone Ponies have been on fire this season in the Wellington women's competition. What has been the catalyst for the ponies' dominance to date?
I'd say probably our culture and our fitness. A majority of the girls have been working hard during pre-season, and it's been evident and showing out on the field. But also our culture is pretty awesome. Starts from the top down. We all get along. We know how to crack jokes, but also mock each other to a point where we're not each other's feelings. So, no, it's pretty cool. Even we joke around with the coaches as well, so it's pretty cool.
Now, of course, last season you had to share the Rebecca Luiania Trophy in the first round with Maris St. Pat's. How special was it a few weeks ago to win that trophy in the first round outright?
To be honest, I mean, it would have been awesome to see MSP still in the competition. They were a great side, and just like most of the clubs here in Wellington, we would have liked to play against them and see what our growth against them would have been like. But yeah, just special, but also in the sense of just the hard mahi our coaches, as well as players, have put in so far this season, and to be rewarded the Rebecca Luiania Trophy after the round one was an achievement over. Well,
and of course, you played Oriental Rongotai in that match, which they have dominated the women's grade for a number of years. It was a good victory. You also got on the team list for a yellow card. It was quite funny.
Yeah. I can't even. Oh, I didn't get back 10. Was it 10?
Yeah, that's what it was.
10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, you've talked about your coaching staff, the coaching staff for the women's team at Petone. Tell us about these members of the coaching staff, because they've been with the program for a few years now.
Yeah, so we've got Shannon Nightingale. He's come on board since last year. We're pretty blessed to have him on board. He's actually brought a whole lot of youth into our Petone team. And he, to be honest, I think he knows, everyone. I don't know who he doesn't know. But in saying that, he's also got the respect from, our younger players, the parents, trusting him to be able to coach their daughters. We've got Fred. Fred's been with the women, he's probably the original coach since 2018, I think it is. He started off as assistant and then took over in 2019. So he's been around for quite a while. I don't think a lot of people know that he's actually coaching as well, to be honest. But yeah, just people like himself, and we've got Ali, and then we've got old school players still around, like the Davina, Lavinia, obviously one of our captains, and our manager Ali, Hima. Those players have still been around since that time, and are still playing now. So it's quite awesome having Fred and Shannon working side by side as well. They both bring different dynamics to the team, as well as their coaching style. So it's pretty cool. And then we've got Eugene Smith, Kingi. He's been helping out the team for the last couple of years. But I think this year they just, I know he wasn't keen for it, but the coaches were like, oh, we're just going to give you a title because, you've been helping out the team for years. And, so they're giving them the scrum. He's our scrum coach, and he has been for the last couple of years. But he's the mastermind behind our scrums. And we're quite fortunate to have him as well. Just the calibre he brings, Supreme player, Lions player, experience. He's also the coach of the under-20s Hurricanes, so we're quite lucky to have him on board. And then we've got Alex Taleta, everyone knows him as X. He's our SNC coach. Not only is he hard, but he's also he brings a lot of laughter and fun into the team as well. So we do a lot of fun stuff like jump rope with those big, thick ropes for trainings and stuff, just stuff like that. And then we've got our awesome manager, Ali. Like I said, she's been with the team for a very long time. She came in and took over our other managers a couple of years back. And yeah, she's awesome. She's like, Ali's like our younger players. She acts like the mother. She's like the mother figure for the young players. She's a counsellor as well. She's also single, so if you know anyone looking for a wife, let us know. I get single. And then we've got our two physios, Soraya and Tori. So yeah, that's our coaching crew.
Now, there's a lot of new talent in the team. Tell us about some of that new talent, but some of the characters as well, because you mentioned there's a lot of laughter in the team.
Yeah, I'd say new talent coming in this season. Obviously, our young players from last season were a standout and still a standout this year. I'd say Maddie Gold, she's come over from Canada. She brings a lot of experience with her, obviously playing overseas. And she's quite beneficial having her in the back line, just to mentor the young ones as well. I'd say Drenna, obviously, she's been around with ESP, but obviously it's her first year with Ponies. She's been sound in our back line, both on defence and attack. Obviously, Monica as well, Black Fern, having her there as well, has been awesome for our young players as well. She's a massive mentor for them. And then we have our characters. I'd say Letty and Lavinia.
Yep.
Those two always got jokes and always positive as well. Except Lavinia wasn't positive in the weekend. She saw red weekend, so. But those two, and then those two, and then we've got obviously our coaches are always throwing shade at each other or at players, and yeah.
Now, it was a good win over Wainuiomata a few weekends ago, who challenged the team in the first round in that first half pretty close. What were the learnings you learnt from that game? Because previous games have been won pretty comfortably.
Yeah, to be honest, I think we needed that game against Wainui. Knowing Wainui too, they always come out firing, they're always out to get us. And we love that. First round, we didn't know what to expect, but that they were going to come out firing. And then, obviously, second round, was it last weekend, we played them. We were able to just exploit their set piece. And we were able to also get a better understanding of the threats that they have within the team as well.
The growth of the women's games, pretty much since the World Cup a few years ago, has been getting stronger. How is it looking in the Wellington region?
Oh, I'd say, my honest opinion, no. I could say it's going good, but you know, we've seen MSP pull out of our club competition, which only goes to show that no one actually wanted to, we haven't actually drawn more players to come and play. So they were struggling for numbers, had to fold. So I'd say, it is getting stronger in the sets around the country. I do think Wellington can do a bit more. Obviously, with the support, supporting Pussy, having Pussy come in, he's had to do a lot of cleanup, and just having him, if we can get him working along, continue to work alongside club coaches, I think we can do something where we are drawing more players, more young players to come and play union.
You're a product of Wainuiomata High School. Tell us about your time there in rugby, and more importantly, Peri Wepu wants to know, Petone or Wainui?
Oh, yes. Yeah, so I went to Wainuiomata High. I was in year 11 when the Wainuiomata High School established. My time there, I loved sports, played all the sports that I could, but I only started playing rugby in year 12, I think it was. And I started at lock, obviously still playing lock at higher, and like obviously Hurricanes and that. The only rules I knew was knock on and the forward passes was a no. Otherwise, I didn't know the game. If I was to pick out of Wainui and Petone, Wainui's where I grew up. I love Wainui, but I'd have to say Petone in the sense of Petone's where I've actually grown as a player. So when I first made Black Ferns, or before I made Black Ferns, I was actually training with the Petone Brotherhood team. So my husband Fred was helping coach one of the coaches for them. So instead of driving over the hill, because training over for Wainui, it was more like just playing touch. So I wasn't really learning anything. So I'll train once over there, and then second training, I'll go and train with the Petone Brotherhood team, which I think is where I got most of my growth, was the support from Petone Rugby Club. So.
When did you debut for the Petone Ponies?
Oh, I debuted for them in 2008. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah. You mentioned lock has been the position you've played the most. Have you played anywhere else on the footy field?
Yeah, I've played 6, 7, 8. And one time when I was playing for Wainui, I wasn't meant to play, but we had no numbers, so they threw me in at fullback. So that was pretty fun.
Now, a year after leaving college, you got called into the Wellington Pride. You were one of the longest-serving players in the Wellington Pride team and captain last year. How have you enjoyed the Pride, and do you remember who your debut was against?
I've actually had I can't say I enjoyed every single moment, because I haven't, to be honest. I've had ups and downs playing in the Pride, wearing the yellow jersey, but it has been honour and privilege to represent my province and my family. I've said it before, I wouldn't play for any other province. Probably won't because of my age as well, but yeah, I think. Sorry, I now forgot the question. What was the question?
Yeah, I think. Do you remember your debut against? Who did you debut against for the Pride? So.
I think it was against Canterbury.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Just because back then, when I started playing, debuts weren't really acknowledged or wasn't really celebrated. Not even caps. So I know a couple of years back they started counting caps, and then they're like, "Oh, how many are you on?" Like, no, we didn't know the old players, like, just because it wasn't celebrated or acknowledged back then. So I think it was Canterbury.
2006, before it was called the Farah Palmer Cup, Wellington, you were part of the Wellington team that won the NPC. How special was that?
Yeah, it was pretty special just to be part of that. That year, I didn't even get on the field, to be honest, and I won't actually lie, I was actually happy I didn't get on the field. That year, to be honest, the first year I played FBC, I wasn't in a rush to play or to start. I was actually happy sitting there and learning from the goats of the game, those that have paved the way. Like obviously, I was playing when Rebecca Leoana was playing, Serena Curtis, all those players. I was happy to just sit on the bench and learn off them. But yeah.
Last season was a tough year for the Pride and the Premiership. You've been relegated to the Championship. However, there's a lot of young talent emerging within the Pride team. How is the Pride program looking into season 2024?
I think this season will look a little bit different to last season. I know a couple of players have moved overseas to Australia, and then some have chosen to play league. So I think this year will look a whole lot different. But in saying that, I know Pussy's been working hard behind the scenes since in the last year, pretty much when EPC had finished, with Ryan and Serena and other coaches, just get a program up and running to help these younger players coming through, getting them upskilled and ready for the EPC competition.
What has been your most memorable game for the Pride?
My most memorable moment would have to be 2018. 2018 was the year we were actually in championship. That year was probably the most fun as well. But we played Canterbury, so we got to play one. Everyone in the championship was able to play one team from the Premiership, and we played Canterbury. It was a home game, and we actually beat them. And that year we were the only team that beat them, so I'd say that game.
It's always good beating Canterbury, isn't it? So in 2012, you were finally rewarded for your hard work with Black Fern's selection. How special was it, one, to be named in the squad, but two, to make your debut against England?
It was pretty special. Before I actually made the team, I had set myself some goals. And I think it was the motivate having my son. So I had my son in 2009. I used him as motivation. So having him kind of drove me to try and wear the black jersey. So to be able to be rewarded that in 2012 was pretty awesome. And having my family over in England as well when I made my debut was pretty cool.
Of the 18 tests you played, what has been the most memorable test and why?
I'd say my debut. I remember sitting on the bench, and I think it was like the 78th minute. But I was like, don't put me like even before then. I was like, man, I'm happy to just sit here. You know, good to not get on. And then they'll like Jacks roll on, and I was like 2 minutes. Oh, please don't put me on. But I'd say that, and not because it was 2 minutes, but it was more so because it was my first game and I had my son there. Obviously, my husband free, so yeah.
Like any rugby player, injuries have had an impact, and you've had a few over your time. How do you bounce back from some of those injuries that can be quite significant?
I'd say my faith has been one of the biggest one, and prayer, and obviously using my son is another reason to bounce back as well. I want him to see that, you know, you can't make excuses if you're wanting to achieve something, and show him what hard work is and so forth. So I'd say my faith, prayer, and my son.
This sad day, you play Oriental Rongotai again, but this time you have to travel out to the Polo Ground. Always a fun place to go to. You beat them in the final round of the Rebecca Leoana Trophy. How is the team preparing for this challenge, considering you're playing them at home?
I think for us as a team, like, we've got a lot of respect for the likes of Auries and Norths. You know, they've held that championship spot for a lot of time, a long time, sorry, many years. Yes, we beat them in the first round, but everyone knows the first round doesn't actually count. It's the second round that counts. And I know that they've got an injection of a lot of experienced players coming back, the likes of Fatso Makisi, which I'm excited to see her back on the field. Bernadette, Joe, I think, should be back, and then potentially Aish. And then you see Vic, having Vic in that 10 jersey if she plays. So, yeah, they've got quite a few experienced players coming back. So we know it's going to be harder. So for us, we don't want to change a whole lot. We're happy with how things are going, and, it's heading into finals footy, like semis and then finals. So you don't want to change a whole lot as well. So.
Can the Ponies go all the way and win the Patea-Fereti Memorial Cup this year?
Yeah. I didn't sound convincing, did I? No, I don't. No, yeah, I actually do have belief in our team, 100%. We've got a mixture of experience and then young players, a fit team. I think if we just stick to our processes and the plans that our coaches have put in place, and back each other, I think we can go all the way. So yeah.
Well, Jackie, it's been fantastic having you on the Hui, and also coming on a Wednesday when the team mainly trains for the upcoming weekend. But all the best this Saturday, and hopefully you'll be able to lift the trophy in a few weeks' time.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you for having me as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie. That is Jackie Patea-Fereti, a great interview with one of the loyal servants of Wellington Women's Club Rugby, and no doubt how the Petone Ponies have been going this season. They should continue on their winning way. We got to broadcast them a few weeks ago when they played Oris in that match to win the Rebecca Luiana Trophy. So Petone, women's side, going from strength to strength. Well, let's have a look at what happened today. There was a traditional on. It was Rongotai College playing Wellington College. It was a 47 points to 13 win for Wellington College, so they continue to stay top of the premiership. Next Wednesday they will play St Pat's Silverstream, and that's always one of the top traditionals of the Wellington First 15 season, so we're looking forward to that. We are covering that game as well. Now, there was a few technical problems at the start of the Rongotai game today, so what we are going to do is we're going to put up the recording of that game, and that will hopefully be up later tonight, so you can watch the whole game back as it was, because there was a few little gremlins at the start that were needed to be resolved. But we're going to put a full replay of that game up. It's a full package, so you can go back and watch that. So in terms of covering women's rugby, it is heading into the final round of the Patea-Fereti Memorial Trophy and the Izzy Ford Trophy before they descend into the semis and finals. And as mentioned, Oris are playing Petone out at the Polo Ground, and Wainui versus North. Those two games kick off at 11, and then the Paniki OBU side are taking on Avalon at 11:30 in the Izzy Ford match. So that is the women's grade for this Saturday. Now, yet again, in the Swindale Shield, round 10 of the competition, with the Hurricanes, of course, playing a quarter-final, which unfortunately has been put at 4:35. They're playing the Rebels. Kick-off times, again, have been moved forward. So, Swindale Shield round 10 action will kick off at 2:15 this coming Saturday. And let's have a look at some of the games that are on. It is Huddle Boys, Marist and Johnsonville. And Johnsonville, well, they've had 3 games in a row. They have lost in the final minute. They kicked by Sam Clark to beat Johnsonville right on full time, denied the Hawks a win. They're currently 9th on the table. Huddle Boys Marist were hoping to get back to winning ways as well. They lost to Upper Hutt last week. So this will be a beauty of the match of those ones. If Johnsonville can get it together, and they've got some players back as well, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to pick the Hawks for this one. If they want to get into the 8, and this is one of those games with only a few rounds to go, this is the one they've got to win if they've got a chance of making the top 8. Well, let's have a look here over the hill at Wainuiomata and Tawa. Tawa, of course, they're currently sitting in 8th. They win this game, they've got a pretty comfortable ride home, and I think that they will be able to sneak into the 8. But Wainui have been pretty tough this year. They're currently sitting 10th on the table. After that loss to Petone, they've had a few wins, and they'll be looking forward to continue on being competitive. So this game could go either way. I'm going to go out on a limb again, and I'm going to pick Wainui at home to win this one. Now, this one here is probably the game of the round, to be honest. It's 1 versus 3. It is Old Boys University travelling out to Ngāti Toa Domain to take on Parramatta Plimerton, who are sitting in 3rd and building nicely. They're defending Swindale Shield champions. Old Boys University are top of the competition. A win here would cement them a few rounds to go, hopefully to hang on to the Swindale Shield. But Parramatta Plimerton at home will be up for this match. And, of course, last year this was, ironically, the match that decided the Swindale Shield in the final round, which we broadcast on RD Sports YouTube, where first time ever Parramatta Plimerton won the Swindale Shield. Going to pick Parramatta Plimerton in this one to sneak home. The Jimmy Gerbich Memorial Shield, this is pretty much the state of origin of the eastern suburbs in Wellington. It is the home side, Pōneke hosting Oriental Rongotai. The Jimmy Gerbich is an impressive shield, and John Jackson does a sterling job broadcasting that game. I remember doing a game of him, I think it was roughly 2 seasons ago. This one here, Pōneke will bounce back. They will be hoping that after they lost to Mara St. Pat's last week, that they can win this other grudge match of the eastern suburbs. Oriental Rongotai narrowly losing to Tawa out in Lyndhurst Park last week. This is pretty much a battle between 11 versus 5. Oriental Rongotai I'm going to pick here to sneak home, but probably only just because there is a real state of origin feeling about this game. And of course also tonight's State of Origin 1 is also on New South Wales and Queensland in Rugby League. Upper Hutt and Norths. Upper Hutt winning against the Eagles last weekend, and North United, well, they're currently sitting 12th on the table. I'm going to pick Upper Hutt here because Upper Hutt playing some pretty good rugby at the moment, and to beat Hutt Old Boys as well, which is one of the teams they often Hutt Old Boys Mariners bogey side. Upper Hutt, I'm picking this one. Now, this one here is a battle between the 2 winless teams in the competition so far. It's Wellington Axemen taking on the Avalon Wolves. Now, this game could go any way. The Axemen are at home, but Avalon are being competitive and gutsy. And yet again, I'm going to go and pick this time Avalon. I'm going to pick Avalon to win this game this weekend. I think the Wolves will get up for this one, and if they win, they'll probably avoid the wooden spoon, but we'll rate this one. Now, this is the game that we are doing this weekend on Huddy Sports YouTube. It is the home side Petone taking on Mara St. Pat's, live from 2:15 and Huddy Sports YouTube. Our coverage will start at 2 o'clock, and this one will be an interesting game. I think Petone, they've had 2 games on the road, 2 pretty comfortable wins as well, and they'll get a few players back as well. I think Petone will win this one this weekend. Also, first 15 action in the capital. Of course, there was already the traditional today that counted as one of those round fixtures, round 3. Let's have a look at the game. Scots versus Town. Scots losing 21-17 after being ahead 14-0 against Wellington College. We're looking to bounce back. Town had a traditional on Tuesday against St. Bede's and narrowly lost that one. Scots at home will be probably too powerful for Town in that one. Patea-Fereti College versus Wairarapa College. Of course, Patea-Fereti beat St. Bernard's last week. A big score, that one. Wairarapa losing to St. Pat's Town. Parramatta Plimerton. Parapara Umu to win that game. On my picks, we've got Tawa versus Hibs. Of course, Hibs finished 4th last year. They've had 2 losses so far. Tawa lost to Stream in round 2 and also to Rongotai. This one could go either way, but Tawa at home, and that game's going to be at 1:30. Tawa to win that one. And then, of course, St Bernard's College versus St Pat's Silverstream from St Bernard's College at 1 p.m. One win to St Bernard's beating Hibs, but then a heavy defeat to Patea-Fereti last week. Silverstream have won all their games so far. Midweek last week they played New Plymouth Boys. They'll probably have Drew Burke McLean back either this weekend or for the traditional on Wednesday. Silverstream to take out that game. As always, we would like to thank our sponsors on Huddy Sports, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited and Louise Reddy of New Zealand Travel Brokers. They do a sterling job supporting us here on Huddy Sports. And always, if you're willing to help us out, we're always looking for extra help and sponsors. So head over to huddysports.co.nz, send a message via our website, or email us at huddysportsnz@gmail.com. We're on our social media pages on Facebook or Instagram. Well, that has been the Huddy Hui for tonight, episode 112. Many thanks to Jackie Patea-Fereti for being our guest on. Reminder, our game this Saturday is going to be Petone versus Marist St Pat's in the Swindale Shield next Wednesday. 2 events on. We have the first 15 traditional between St Pat's Silverstream and Wellington College, so look out for that time. I believe it's a 1:30 kickoff, but we'll have that advertised on our website and our social media pages. And also next Wednesday, we have Milan Kirilik booked in from Marist St Pat's. He's in his second year with the Scarlets, and he's been in fine form for Marist St Pat's this season. He's also the captain as well. So he's going to be our guest on the Huddy Hui next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So look out for that one. Well, that has been the Huddy Hui for tonight. As always, make sure you're watching rugby this weekend and go the Canes. I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.